Hey, this goes out to all my listeners in Ireland, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Detroit, Michigan, the greater Detroit area, Piston fans, Celtic fans, wherever you are. Little special bonus edition. This is in response to a question received via email. What goes on when the recording is not rolling on the podcast? Well, sometimes we have conversations. I'm from Detroit. He's from Boston. Special edition insight. Myself, Tez Yancey. I hope you enjoy.
Piston.
Celtic. Celtic. Celtic.
Well, Tommy, you're right. The Celtics are coming back home, and it'll now be a best-of-3 series, with the Celtics having 2 games in Boston Garden. So they still have the advantage. There's no mistaking that. However, after Game 2, no one, I don't think, of the so-called experts thought that the Pistons would win 2 decisive games like this. Tomorrow, on Memorial Day, it'll be the Lakers and Sonics Game 4 of the Western Final, with the Lakers with a chance to close it out. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And Thursday, Tom and I will be back at the Silverdome at 9 o'clock Eastern for Game 6 of this best-of-7 series.
That's the buzzer. That's the buzzer. Game over. Those were definitely some really exciting times in basketball. So whether you're a basketball fan or not, it's okay. If you're a Celtics fan, Celtics fan, Pistons fan like myself, or whatever, a person that's just loves life when life can be loved, that's cool. This is a special, just a bonus outtake from Let's Chew the Gum. And basically we did this because some folks wonder, what happens when you're not recording, or is it really unscripted? Do you record everything? And pretty much, yeah. So you'll get to hear a little insight between Mr. Tez Yancey, my special guest, and myself, just really just chopping it up about much of nothing, but all in love and good times. Be sure to tune into our regularly scheduled podcast Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on all platforms where fine podcasts are broadcast. We'll talk to you later. Check us out. Go Pistons.
The one thing I've done being here is I get up, and the one thing I make time for is to get up early and go for a run. And I just run down in the area of the neighborhood where I grew up in, man. And it's been really cathartic in a lot of ways, really cathartic. It's a good place for me to be right now, like in terms of just, it's like I feel like a new beginning is emerging,
No place like home, and, man, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, this is where I literally dreamed. I dreamed my ass off here.
Wow.
And drew it to fruition.
Yeah.
It's really incredible, man.
I definitely understand that, man. I'm from Detroit originally, and you may or may not know that, but
I think for some reason I feel like I was thinking Motown,
Yeah. I'm always talking about. I can't stop talking about Detroit, but I get that same feeling that you're talking about with being home in Boston, man. It's when I go there, it's like you go someplace. There's that series called Cheers, and one of the theme song, I don't know who the actual singer is, but it says sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Where they're always glad you came. You want to be where people can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your name. Yeah.
And for me, man, it's more, to the heart with that. It's more about they know your name, they know your heart. There's no explanation. You don't have to emote necessarily as much energy to get people to understand or to know you. It's a comfort. It's a comfort place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I get it, man.
I love that.
Yep. I was back home. I pressed record, man, by the way, just to get some signals and make sure. So,
no doubt.
I was back home in 2016, man. I had a chance to take my 3 kids who are all in their 20s, man, now. So I guess back then one of them was a teenager at least, and my granddaughter. They had never been to Detroit, where I'm from, man. They never had been. So it was a blessing, man. And they went back, and it was like they got it. They got me. You know what I mean? Being from a faraway place in California, and you kind of, you're different. And but they got me, and they appreciated it. I appreciated it. At first, they didn't want to go, man. They thought they were going to get shot. Everybody's shooting on every corner. They didn't want to go.
Right.
They didn't want to go. I'm like, man, I understand how those stories are true, and those stories are sometimes exaggerated, but there's some truth to that, man. But,
Yeah.
So, man, did you ever get into sports much in terms of a spectator or performer?
Yeah, well, both, a little bit of both. I mean, I'm actually a little bit of one, a lot of the other. So, like, I've always loved sport. I've played many different sports coming up, just in terms of being in love with them. My favorite, basketball. I grew up a huge Celtics fan.
See, I may stop and admit right now that was a loaded question.
I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. But, you know where I said I grew up, right?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to give this airtime, though. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're giving it airtime, but what? Just to give you some love and props, I mentioned, Pistons. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure.
And look, man, I got. Look, you can say what you want, man, but you're a championship city. I'm a championship city.
No doubt.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, and say what you want, man, but when y'all's bad boys was winning back in the day, they were winning. And then that 2004 team that won.
Yep. With the 5-game sweep of the Lakers, I call it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. They were. I mean, that was a team, man.
Oh my God, man. That was. I'm glad you, especially as a Celtics fan, that you can say that. And I was going to say admit that, because but that was, man. I would tell people back then. Some people kind of casually watch sports or look at sports, and they can, this team sucks. That they lose a game and the team sucks, but they won. They'll say Brady sucks. I mean, the dude is a winner. Say what you want, but that team, man, was one of the best all-around teams I've ever seen in basketball ever, man. They all could play. They seemed like they all genuinely loved each other as brothers, and they were the most unselfish team I've ever seen. And that's from somebody who watched mostly all their games, man. It was amazing, amazing, man. But
man, I didn't have, superstars and all that. They didn't need all that. They played it. They proved it. Because, I mean, look.
Yeah.
That Laker team was loaded. Now, some of those guys may have been older.
Yep.
But you still got Karl Malone and
Gary Payton,
and Kobe Bryant,
and Shaquille O'Neal. Yep. Plus the crew.
Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That I think that team would have done that to anybody, bar none.
I agree.
It's funny. Last night somebody just put up a video. It's one of my Detroit hometown Facebook pages, so people would post things, memorabilia and memories and whatnot. But it was 17 years ago yesterday, and I think it was that same year in the playoffs when we were playing the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it was a defensive game, man. No, not the Malice. No, not that one. Oh, that's a whole nother one. Oh my goodness. No, not that one. No, this is 2014. Before some of those guys, real defensive game. I saw a glance at the screen. It was fourth quarter, and the score was in the 60s. That's how defensive it was. But Chauncey Billups stumbles with the ball, loses control. It gets to Reggie Miller. He is running down the court, free, clear path, and out of nowhere, when Reggie tried to lay it up, Tayshaun Prince swatted the ball out of. Oh man, it's like he came down from heaven, and they posted that yesterday. So it's something that you brought up that today. That's something else.
That was brilliant, man.
That was an amazing moment, man. I was commenting. I was jumping I almost jumped through the ceiling at my house, man. So, yeah, I get it, man. Pistons, Celtics, that was classic. So, man.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
It really was, man.
Yes, sir.
This guy he didn't give up on the play.
Not at all. I think that same year, too, all those Piston players on that team, they all went to the All-Star game, the starters, except Tayshaun Prince. That's correct. I don't know how did they leave him out, but they all went. As a matter of fact, the coach at one point had all four of them on the court. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think any team has ever had all four starters in the All-Star game, or 4 or 5 starters in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
that's ever
think you're right,
happened.
man. It was Larry Brown, right, and the coach.
Yep,
And
yep.
the thing is, man, is that at one point it was it was basically the Pistons against the other guys, and that during that stretch when they went in, it was there was defense, man. They were shutting them down.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. 'Cause they just played their sets. It was beautiful, man. I can talk Pistons and sports all day, man, and this any sport, football, basketball.
Yeah,
I'm all Detroit all the time, man. Lions, Tigers, and no Bears.
no Bears. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I say, man, I grew up a Celtics fan, but the truth of the matter is, I am I just love the game of basketball. Like I love basketball. I played some, but I just love the game. So I watch whoever's playing. If it's good basketball, I watch Pee Wee League.
Oh
If it's
man,
good,
I'm telling you,
you know.
I feel that, man. That's how I feel about football. I tell people all the time. I said I watch a field of grannies. I don't care if it's kindergarten grannies. I want to see some executing, some hitting. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've been known to do that, to stop on the side of a road and just watch some kids play. Man, it's we played like that growing up. We had the neighborhood leagues. We had so many kids, man, on the different streets. So if you didn't have enough kids, you made two streets into a team. So our street would play the next street, and they had it all organized down to the playoffs, and keeping records. It was pretty cool, man. So everybody would enjoy that, man.
yeah, man.
That's good stuff.
That's great stuff, brother. I love it.
Something for your mind, mind, mind. Something for your mind, mind.